Right, just gearing up to do this transistor a minute. So I'm just going to solder suck that one out. Unfortunately there is a capacitor shoehorned in there as well. Mr. Lockfit, out you come. Playing up today. There we go. Let's drop that off of there. Racket off. Right, so we've got different pinouts on here, so I did make a note on my little drawing which way round that one went. So we've got on this one, we've got, and again I've done a little drawing of the pinout on the new one. So you've got emitter, base and collector. Oh, that's ideal. Pretty much like that then. So that's got to go in like that, and then I'll check that while it's out. Be a bit silly because that could be the one that's causing the issue, couldn't it? So this should be 220 picofarads. Well, it's bang on. 219, so it's absolutely bang on, which I thought it would be, but it's silly not to check it while I got it out of circuit, really. So that pops back in across there. Plenty of clearance. Bit of flux because this is a really old, not really old, but it is an old, new old stock transistor. Let's give it the flux. Tap that one in first to hold the extra capacitors right in there. There we go. Right, snip the legs off of that one. Let's give it a little touch up. So let's give it a comparison with what's in there at the moment. Clear the decks. Stay there. Now this could be a big fail because I'm doing it live. There you go. Always best. So this is what we're like at the moment. Zero volume, just a little low hum.
You do. You will do in about.
Okay. Let's whip that one out. Pop our one with a new transistor in. Power back in. Still noisy. Where is that noise coming from? Ah, I think we might have a dry joint. I think we've got a dry joint there. Let's have a look at that. Not really a dry joint, it's gone halfway round, but I'm going to redo it. Let's just go over this and redo some of these joints. Now, do I solder suck them out and redo them? No, should be okay. Should be okay. It's leaded solder, this. Some of these obviously I've done. Should need to go over my own joints. Definitely something on here that's not playing ball. So I'll say I'll reflow these and then we'll check it again. If it's still playing up and it's intermittent, it's more than likely going to be the lock fit transistors. As I say, this has been in storage for a long time. It's been up in a loft, I think, so it could have got a bit damp. Anyway, what I'm basically going to do is just get the soldering iron on, wet it up and just add some fresh solder in. So I'm not going to show you the whole of that. I'm going to do that because I want to use the magnifier. Okay, so finished reflowing the board. Covered in flux at the moment, but I'm not worried about that for a second. Just get it back on again. And I did notice when I was doing the reflowing that this connection here, one of the pins was very dirty. I had a job soldering it, so you never know. So let's pop him back in again. Try again. Well, again, that seems fine. Volume.
Of the lifeboat station and the all-weather Shannon class lifeboat R&J Welburn.
Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to recheck the voltages on it in a minute, but that's enough for now because I've got to go out. Join me again in a bit. Well, as you can hear, the amp is still pretty noisy, so it seems to get noisier as it warms up, so I'm going to try a bit of freezer spray on these transistors. Nope. Made no difference. So next thing to check through the DC voltages on the circuit. Where are we? So we know it's definitely isolated to the amplifier board because the spare amplifier board I've got is working fine. So let's have a quick look at, so that's the circuit diagram. So far we've looked at TR4, which is basically this one here, which leads into the final transistors, and I was getting some noise on the collector of that one. So you know, that was put in. Actually, no, it's not. Was that TR4? Yeah, TR4. Yeah, that was putting noise onto the base of the two output transistors, but I have got noise on the base of this one as well, so it still is looking at like around this area, but it could be coming from back here, I suppose. But the base of that one seems okay. Could be resistors, I suppose, out of spec, but then it's got to be TR1 or TR2 here. It must be. One of those is causing it, I'm sure. Both BC149s. I've got some BC147s, I think, that should be a replacement for that. But we'll have a look at the voltages first. So jumping the gun here. Okay, welcome back. Well, as you can hear, it's still noisy. Noisier than I want. So I'm going to check some voltages. Firstly on TR1 now. Collector emitter, 6.4 volts. So let's have a look. TR1. 3.9 volts. Sounds like I'm loading the circuit a little bit there, so that's definitely not right. Connector to base, I just need to do that underneath the board. And I've just got to try and get my bearings as to which is which here, so it's that one there. This is base. Oh, I'm loading it up too much here, aren't I? Let's just try it that way. Connector to emitter. Okay, so we have got pretty much 6.4 there. So I've just got to get my bearings as to which is which on the diagram. So it's collector base is these two. Should be 1.1, actually 5.4. And I'm getting a minus voltage on the base to emitter, which should be 0.6. That's probably because I've got it the wrong way around. Let's try that. 0.6, so that's correct. So our so we've got too high a voltage on our collector to base TR1. Turn that racket off a minute. TR1. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the voltage on C9 in a minute. The voltage across C9. There. .4 volts. Let's do that with respect to negative. Nothing there. 6.4 there. Okay, so that's definitely working. That's blocking the signal. Just wonder if it's a problem with one of the biasing resistors. I don't think there can be any problem with my new capacitors, but you never know. So let's look at R4 first. Actually, R2 goes to the let's have a look. Let's try R2 first. R2, where are you? R2. R2 down the bottom there. So that's this one. Nothing on R2. Oh, hang on. What's that? 0.4 of a volt. Okay, R4. Four's up here. Cool, makes me jump every time I do that. 6.7 that side, 11.4, so that's definitely dropping the voltage. R5, that's the next one. Volts, 11.4. Yeah, that's not a very high value resistor, so 11.4. Okay, I'm going to need to leave it there because I've got to go out, but yeah, we've definitely got an issue with the very first transistor in line TR1. Okay, welcome back. So I've been going through this amplifier board. I've been comparing it with the other amplifier board I've got that's perfectly okay. I've done a couple transistor tables to check the voltages out, and between the two boards, next to no difference between the good board and the bad board. I got a couple voltages that don't agree with the service manual, but they're the same on both boards, so I'm not really too worried about that. It might be the way I'm measuring it, or because I've got a lower impedance multimeter, something like that. Anyway, so I've gone through it, I've checked a load of the resistors on this in the path, in the audio path, and I can't find anything wrong. So I very much doubt it's the output transistors. I would think, and again it's difficult to prove until you actually change them, I'm going with TR1 and TR2, which are in the audio input path. So somewhere through that path, I've checked all the resistors in that path. I've also checked the capacitors. I can't see any problems at all. So I'm going to go and change out TR1 and TR2. Now, looking through some service stuff and various bits and pieces on the net, I think the BC109 is going to be the best to change it for. Currently in there at the moment is BC149s. Apparently the 109 is the same bit of silicone really, but in a different can, that's all. And these are known to be a lot more reliable, so I've got a couple of those in stock, which is great news. It means I don't have to order stuff in, so I can carry on and work on it. Now they're slightly different pin out. Well, not pin outs, not different. They're in a different can. So if you can see that, so zoom you in a little bit. So this is the new ones. This is one of the old lock fit ones with the so it's got like a strange rounded off, chamfered off corners on it. So yeah, they're a bit smaller, but they are pretty much the same transistor. These are BC109B, that is. I don't know whether there's any difference. It's a BC109. I will see if I've got two matching ones, whether I've got two Bs or two normal ones, but yeah, basically that's the two that I'm going to pop in there. So at the moment we've still got noise. It seems to start off quiet and then gets noisier and noisier. I've tried hitting it with freezer spray, as you saw previously. That makes no difference at all. So I'm going to turn the solder sucker on. I'm going to take these out. I've got a little diagram of the back of the board, so I've just gone in Photoshop and flipped that board layout. So this is now looking at the back side of the board as I see it, and I've marked on which pins are which, so I know where I'm going. I don't get mixed up. So I'm going to pop those in. Join me again in a minute and we'll see if it's improved the situation. Okay, well what I'm going to do, I'm going to test it one by one. So I've changed TR1 now, which is this one in here. That's done. Let's just get in a bit closer. You can see them there. I changed TR1 just there. This is the one I changed previously up here. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. So that one's already been changed. That's the, I don't know, MPN. These are PMP, I think, if that's the right way round. Don't quote me on that. So I thought what we'd try is just fire them back up again with TR1 change, see if that's made any difference. TR1, looking at blogs on the internet, seems to be the one that causes the problems, so let's try that. If anything, that's noisier. So, wasn't TR1. Okay. TR2 changed. So another look. Oh dear, it's still noisy. Okay. Obviously not the issue. Onwards then, I'm going to have to start checking further into the circuit. I've checked really up to R7. I suppose TR3 would be the next one to check. And that would be some weird and wonderful transistor called a T2. So, not sure about that. So I'm going to check all that, see how I get on. Okay, well, I've found something that's, well, I would consider probably out of tolerance. I've got C9 on the diagram here, which, let's get you down a bit closer onto the diagram. So C9 here should be say it's 1 kp, 1000 picofarads, which is 1 nanofarad. It's only reading 770. It's one of these tubular type ones. So I popped in a modern, you can't see me again now. I popped one in a modern ceramic, and that one's reading 980 picofarads. So that one's a lot closer. So I'm just going to try it again. See if that's made any difference whatsoever. So let's pop them back on. Okay, still got a hiss. Getting louder. Okay, not the problem. Carrying on. Okay, welcome back again. Right, I think I've sorted it. What was it? I don't know, to be fair. It could be a combination of anything. It got sort of slightly better each bit I changed, really. I whipped out two capacitors that were out of spec. Done. I've swapped a resistor over from this board to that one because the resistor was out of spec. As I say, I popped a couple more capacitors in there. Brand new transistors. All good. Certainly seems to be working well.
Want to be the next big thing. You don't even have to want to make it to an elite level. Sport brings so much to people's lives, you know, the social side of it, the health, the fitness, and it can
change lives, and this last 2 weeks will have changed people's lives because they'll try something new, and that's incredible for everyone who was part of it.
That was it. I think that's why everyone gets involved with it, because I mean, it's been a pretty dodgy year, I would say, and these 2 weeks.
No matter what the problem, the AA, because anything can happen. This is Heart, with the latest travel news, next. This morning, the Bartlett family garden was looking a bit wild. But with a little help from Cuprinol Garden Shades wood care paint.
Brilliant. That, as far as I'm concerned, is done. Whew. The last minute amplifier refurbs. I wasn't expecting to have to do that at all, really. After I'd done the capacitors, I thought that was job done, but obviously not. The radio thought different. So, anyway, I'm going to get this all back together now. Get it ready for its final test before the case goes back on. It's got a couple bits to clean off there. I have removed all the flux from that now, apart from that test link, so I'm just going to do that with a bit of isopropyl on a cotton bud. Then I'm going to put it back together.